I've never been closer and tried to understand that certain feeling carved by another's hand.
Right, now what this is this is someone who is in a relationship that just gets better as time goes on. And part of that relationship is passionate sex, right? And you know, this is someone who sort of setting the scene on a dramatic scale. It's sort of an epic scale. You know, that is how important it is to these people. You know, never been closer. Try to understand. That's sort of the breakdown of logic in that situation. You know, and then using the metaphor to say this must have been, you know, this is some sort of this must have been created by someone, because this just doesn't happen, sort of thing.
But it's too late to hesitate. We can't keep on living like this.
And that is the build-up of passion, isn't it? And we can't keep on living like this. It's sort of the you know, the tension that's in the scene, that's in the text, and you know, and yeah, it's a really great introduction. Why would you want to go back in that moment, right? For the duration of that event, right? You abandon logic, you abandon reserve, and you just go for it. The vocal performance of each, there's a power thing going on there, where it's, you know, quite traditional, and adorable creatures, obviously. It's an interaction between people who have got strong feelings for each other, sort of thing. And that is really showing how passionate they are for each other. You know, this is again the breakdown of logic, and you know, just letting yourself go in the moment. And that is, in my reading, you can take it or leave it, but you better believe it. You know, there's, you know, it's sort of compartmentalizes that experience, and then you get on with the rest of your day, but with that sense of that potential sort of thing, if you get what I mean.
You got to make me an offer. It cannot be ignored.
That sort of it's sort of you know, the crux of you know, the that event. You know, he's saying, but they're both sort of leading each other. And he's saying, you know, about her her personality, her character, and everything else, her body, and so on and so forth, passion, all the rest of it, along with his sort of thing.
Let's head for home now. Everything I have is yours.
I mean, the mistake I think this record makes is that they both sort of do that. Everything I have is yours. You know, both. You know, that's something missing out of this record that should have been there. You know, they're both. Let's head for home. Let's, you know, build up to the denouement, if you want, of that event.
Step by step, day by day, every second counts. I can't break away.
Step by step, day by day. That's you know, the development of the relationship where it just gets better, and every second counts. How your temporal sense alters, you know, at different times.
Leave no trace. Hide your face.
Let's not go back, sort of thing. Do you know what I mean? For that moment, go for it.
Temptation.
Step by step and day by day, every second counts. I can't break away.
That's it. The union of these people, and the event, and the what goes into it, or the psychology, the emotions, the physicality, all of it. The depth of a relationship, the substance of the relationship that has been developed over time.
Temptation. Keep us from temptation. Keep us from temptation. Lead us not into temptation. Oh,
Trying to find me,
temptation.
you got to get out behind me.
That is sort of like, it's essentially what is said in Disco Inferno. Get down, bring that mother down, get down with it. You're sort of getting into the experience. You're sort of bringing yourself down to can really, like you know, embrace the experience, and get the most out of it. Again, brilliant use of metaphor. You know, to you know, to really express how much passion there is in the situation, in the relationship, in that moment, in the sex that they're having, and you know, the relationship. Again, uh, uh, the you know they're both killing each other basically in that moment, and I think it's you. I think she says you're going to face it tonight. Now, again, a great use of metaphor of which ties in with the metaphors throughout the record. Again, heading towards orgasm. Again, this is sort of taps into metaphors about of society and stuff like that. And give me a breakdown. Again, the breakdown of logic, the so on and so forth. Time for a shakedown. Again, orgasm. About the body and so on and so forth. So you've got quite a few things going on there. Which sort of already explained. A great record. To think, like I've said, that they must have been in their early to mid 20s when they wrote that. Whether it was an individual who wrote it or whether it was a collaboration. I'm sort of guessing it probably was a collaboration. No, it might not have been a collaboration. It could have been either. But it's just a thing that people at that age could write such a complex, such a cognizant, such a rich text. It's pretty impressive. Anyway, and that's sort of, and then you get on with the rest of your day. But with that potential that comes from having had a relationship that includes a lot of things, including that excitement of that moment, and then you take that on, and that is human advancement, isn't it? It's a better life than is often depicted, and loads of people get this. And I'm surprised that record wasn't popular internationally in English-speaking countries and in Europe, because it is a really impressive record, but impressive as it is. Temptation, big drama, sets the scene brilliantly, great introduction. It really does a really effective job at what it does, it's a depiction of that's got a maturity that it's quite surprising, considering that was the early 80s, and they would have only, the people who wrote it and performed it would have only been, say, in their, like I said, early to mid 20s. That's pretty impressive. Right on to Disco Inferno. Again, the introduction, coming down to get down with it, to really go into it, into the experience. So when it gets into when it really kicks off, it's a. Now, even dramatic though it is, it's more systematic. It's more a blueprint for how to live life, the game of life, sort of thing. This guy's sort of leading from the front, sort of thing, from the off, to say this is this is the way you sort of should do things.
100 stories high, people getting loose, y'all. You're getting down on this roof.
Again, this is like you get down with it, you loosen up, you lose your reserve, you get into the experience.
Yeah.
I don't know what you're saying, what the first word there was. Again.
It's so entertaining when the boogie started slow.
Out of control. Again, just throw caution to the wind and just really going for it, which, like as you see from Temptation, as you see in this, that's where you get the best experience and the more advancement.
Came in a chain reaction. I couldn't get enough till I had the second struck. He was on, rising to the top. Everybody going slow. That's when my spot got hot. I heard somebody say.
Again, it's like the build up, the context, the crowd, the sense of the term used to be gay abandon. As you throw caution to the wind and just really get into the experience. You could say into the game of life. I think I've covered that before, where that experience, like with Temptation, you then take it on. So it's again that's where the advancement is. That's where things come together. Things really come together, and you sort of in this instance. Emotionally, really like just going with it, but you can also read it as intellectually, yeah,
Couldn't get enough, so I had to set struck. The heat was on, rising to the top. Everybody going strong. That is when my spark got hot.
again, I think I've mentioned this before. How the I can put it, the disco that you've contributed to gives you the potential to make the most of it.
Somebody say, it's going Inferno. Burn that mother down. It's going Inferno. Burn the mother down. Burn the mother down.
Yeah. So there you go. So yeah, state of emergency. Well, yeah, it's a state of emerging into getting further into your potential. You know, you're emerging into a higher level of experience in the game of life. Now you see around here emergency vehicles, fire engines, for example. You know, and for a long time, people have actually tried. The people at Tesco's Athena Disco, with some fella who lost it, going round with hoping for a miracle, saying the end is nigh, referring to me, and the Disco Inferno. You know, who you don't put out the fire at the Disco Inferno. You know, fire is one of the elements, one of the most important elements that we've got. And you know, and the Disco Inferno, as opposed to the Tesco Athena disco, where they do struggle with umbongo, and they do, like I've said, they've really thought about looking for a bottle of Domestos, and you know, to again, like with the architects, to limit potential. You know, so that, you know, with this really narrowed vision of the game of life, you know, that if people want that sort of disco, if people want to go to that sort of disco, they can go to that sort of disco. But you know, Disco Inferno, it's, you're not always, obviously you can't, that sort of, that experience of the Disco Inferno that you carry on into life lifts up your life. You know, it's a better experience. It's a better game of life. It's a better life, more enjoyable life, more interesting life, a more intelligent life, a smarter life, which implies a more civilized life. Yeah, to me, the Tesco Athena disco is a retrograde step. It's anachronistic. It's a backward step rather than an advancement. It's like I said about Saturday Night Fever and The Mask. You sort of try the text about faking it till you make it, then realizing that making it and all that, and so you go for a shit life, you know, and you don't reach your potential, not only your individual potential, but your potential in your relationships, right? And you know, so on. As opposed to the Disco Inferno, which is, you know, miles better, way better, and yet you will see, because bear with me, because you know, the Socket Girls and Shelf Stackers, and the Socket Girls Shelf Stacker management at the Tesco Athena disco, are sort of in a way a bit wary, or quite wary, or very wary of what if they embraced the experience outlined in Temptation, and also embraced the game of life, the approach to life, the blueprint for a better way of doing things. That's sort of, you know, you're talking about people whose mental structure, whose psychological structure, whose game of life is pretty boring and limited. I think that goes quite some way to explaining why. And like this is I've said before, this is you know, there is a time for effective criticism, and balanced criticism, and you know, that clearly there's only one group of people that came from, you know, and the option for everyone is there. You know, it was there. It was always there. The Disco Inferno. Well, even before that record came out, these people just in as impressive a text as I think you'll ever find, in my experience, you know, sort of leads the way. So yeah. And also, you know, building up to this, I suppose, as well as other things, sort of revisioning colour TV. It's sort of starting to, at times, sort of get it. But then, like I said, because the shelf stacking Socket Girl management, the shelf stacking Socket Girl shelf stackers have not reached their potential, and they're worried about reaching their potential, I think, which makes them incredibly hesitant of going to the Disco Inferno. And like I said, you look at how many attempts there have been to put out the fire at the Disco Inferno, and yet not only is fire one of the most important elements we've got, but the Disco Inferno is probably the most important and the best blueprint there is for how to go about things. You know, and that is a state of emergency. As for me, having had a brief look at the Tesco Athena disco. Here I am, almost certainly the smartest person on the face of the planet currently. I'm thinking about the smartest people there's been. I can't think of anyone I wouldn't kick the shit out of in an argument. I can't think of anyone, which makes me a bit tentative. So I'm on the fucking dole, and you try and figure that out. I'm on the dole. I'm quite possibly the smartest person there's ever been. And like I said, one of the last times I went to the Tesco Athena disco, for some crusty rolls. I do have to do these things, despite being the smartest person who's ever lived, almost certainly. Which is why, one of the reasons why Tesco's Athena disco has started to try and dope me up again. But I quite like that. In fact, I really like that, because if the she's dead moment hadn't happened, not only wouldn't I have not had the experiences, not only would the experiences that took place, if you can call them that, have taken place, that were an adventure, but the potential I always had, I think, always having that sense of heading towards the Disco Inferno, if not already being there, sort of gave me that opportunity to develop that potential. So yeah, like I said, the Disco Inferno does benefit all areas of your life, and despite it taking time for me to establish, to revision proper colour TV, it is going to take time. For me, it's simple. For the Tesco Athena disco, because they're shit-faced so often and so much on Umbongo, it's way more complex for them. Because I'm probably the smartest person who's ever lived, in so many ways. The in terms of polymaths and in terms of people who specialise in certain areas, I'm probably the smartest. I can't envision a scene where I couldn't kick the shit out of someone. Which sort of the Disco Inferno can be suppressed, but it'll always re-emerge. A state of emergency. Well, of course it is. Not with anyone who embraces the Disco Inferno. They too can have their own state of emergency.